Good evening, everybody. Once again, I'm just checking that everything is going to be okay. Looks like it is. I just need to check up my the order I'm going to play the hymns because I wrote down a list and forgot to make a list for myself. Anyway, good to be here again. Another Sunday. The weeks are just going by so quickly. Who'd believe that tomorrow is Valentine's Day? And some of the hymns have got love in them. I thought so. Always like to try something with a bit of a different a bit of a theme. Well, I'm going to start out with 636. New every morning is the love, our awakening and arising prove. So our computer is giving me all sorts of funny messages here. Still really not recovered from the updates. However, let's hope it's all going to be good enough for me to play you a few hymns. Here we go. Change the camera. "636, new every morning." Now the next hymn was a suggestion from Callum, 675. 675. Callum, who hails from Wiltshire. The tune may not be perhaps that familiar, but it is a lovely little tune by John Wilson, who contributed a lot to this book, Hymns and Psalms, and lovely words by Brian Rees. I'm going to play it to the Redemptor tune by John Wilson, and a suggestion from Callum up there in Wiltshire. Beautiful words, beautiful tune. I'm sure. Well, I can relate to lots of those words there. Have faith in God, my mind, though oft your light burns. So you know when your mind goes off at a tangent and the things go around and around and around. I'm a great one for catastrophizing at times. God's mercy holds a wiser plan than you can fully know. And just thinking of that hymn, I know who holds the future, which sometimes it's difficult to take that on board. But I'm sure you look, well, I know I look back and think, oh yes, that was what happened there then. That's what all that was about. Father of heaven, whose love profound, 519 is the next one on my list for this evening. 519. So the wonderful tune by J.B. Dykes, Rivolo. I wonder where it comes from and what it's all about. Well, why don't I look it up? Rivaux as an abbey, isn't there? Just talk about Giselles whilst I find the appropriate page. Oh, thank goodness for that. Edward Cooper wrote the words, and it's first published in a selection of his psalms and hymns for public and private use in Uttoxeter, Staffordshire. It's been included in many later books. Became widely known after appearing in the first edition of Hymns Ancient and Modern, Church of England's sort of hymn book. And I was right about the tune. This tune was composed for the present hymn in Ancient and Modern. The name is a variant spelling of Riavolo, the Cistercian abbey near Helmsley in North Yorkshire. J.B. Dykes named many of his tunes after places in the north of England. Sometimes I say to the church choir, oh, have I made that up? If you say it convincingly, but I'm pleased to know that in actual fact, yes, I hadn't made it up. Father of heaven, whose love profound a ransom for our souls has found. Where's me choir to great? Let's have... I still haven't finished setting this instrument up. Never mind. Here we go. Father of heaven, whose love profound. So not everything works like I want it to. O love that wilt not let me go. 685. and I am going to just consult my book about this hymn so that I get it right. A trusty book from Hubert Julian, because there is a lovely background to this. Hymn was written in 1881 in the Clydeside Manse of Inellen, Argyll, Scotland, where the author was at that time minister. He wrote, "It was composed with extreme rapidity. It seemed to me that its construction only occupied a few minutes, and I felt myself rather in the position of one who was being dictated to than of an original artist. I was suffering from extreme mental distress, and the hymn was the fruit of pain." It was published in Life and Work, the Record of the Church of England, in January 1882. The original form of verse 3, "I climb the rainbow," that's been altered, as you can see, to "I trace the rainbow through the rain." According to the handbook to the church hymnary, the author explained that when he wrote "blossoms red" in the last verse, he was thinking of the blossom that comes out of sacrifice, of the sacrificial life, which blossoms by shedding itself. White is the blossom of prosperity, red of self-sacrificing love. The hymn quickly became popular and appeared in many books. So it was a hymn that came as a result of being under a lot of mental stress or distress at the particular time, and it was a way for him to relieve some of that tension. I find playing the organ is quite a good way of just sitting and improvising or vaporizing or turning it up loud and just making a racket. It's a good way to let out some of the frustrations sometimes. So George Matheson was able to let some of his tension go in writing these wonderful words. The tune was composed 1884 during a visit to the manse at Brodick, Arran, that's off Scotland, by A.L. Pearce. The name of the tune refers to the sainted Queen of Scotland, who was a benefactress of the church. "O love that wilt not let me go." lovely, lovely hymn, lovely tune. I played that at several funeral services, I think. Family and otherwise, glorious, glorious tune. So let's move on to Love Divine, 267. Now everybody knows Love Divine. I'm going to update you on one or two people, one or two things which are happening. I did think we might have the cats on view this evening. Before I started playing, I decided it wouldn't be safe not to feed them because they were both asking for something to eat, and I can just imagine that they'd be up here crawling all over the place. So I fed them, and they've gone off to do what cats usually do, which is sleep or go out chasing squirrels. Now, I digress just for a minute or two, get your breath back, ready for a good old Sing of Blind Wern. Took the cats to the vet this week, as you do, and they had to go because they needed a checkup, and I needed some, they need the worming treatment, their flea treatment and all the rest of it, which I just hoped to go and be able to pick up, but no, I had to take them in. So I've discovered that they need some teeth out, and I've discovered that Sebastian, who is adept at chasing squirrels, has a heart murmur, which, who knew? I wouldn't have known. He's as sprightly as anything, and they're coming up 9, they'll be 10 in May. So of course the thing is now that if to have teeth out, they have to have a general anaesthetic. Rather like me, I don't have a general anaesthetic. I get sedated when I go to the dentist. This story goes back a lot. If I've told you this before, then a dentist, I never got on well with a dentist from being a child, and some years back I had to go and have some dental treatment done, and I bit the dentist, and he did sort of shout at me. He said, "I'm sorry to shout," he said, "but you were biting my thumb at the time." So we sort of parted company, really, and then I ended up having to go to the emergency dentist, and then I discovered that you could get dental treatment by being sedated and knocked out. So I've gone with that. Anyway, that's digressed a bit from the cats. So just like going to a private dentist and being sedated, of course, having the cats anaesthetised doesn't come cheap, as you might expect. But of course, Sebastian's heart murmur needs looking into first before they'll anaesthetise him. So there we go. So that was interesting this week, shall we say. So I'm going to do some birthdays now. I'm going to mention some of these people you will know, some you won't. Angela Drew, a friend on Facebook. Susanna Brooks, who is the eldest daughter of Chris and Janet George. I played for Susanna's wedding in TMC some years back. Susanna, if I remember it rightly, played the bassoon. David Ballinger, 86 today. Wish him a happy birthday. And then another colleague, Philip Chant, a very good organist, who was down St Buryan Way, has moved now, continues to do some playing up in Wales. I forget exactly where he is. And then a Dutchman, Peter van den Heuvel. Well, you probably never heard of Peter van den Heuvel, and you might guess that he's a Dutchman from being Peter van den Heuvel. He is an organ builder and has built some magnificent instruments. So I'm a friend, like many of the people who are friends. It's lovely to see the work and the organs and the instruments and things which they build. There's a magnificent organ in Saint Eustache in Paris, When I was there with Hubert and the Celtic Voices, I managed to get in to hear this wonderful organ. Also got in to hear the organ in Notre Dame. Sadly, the cathedral got burnt and the organ's been being repaired. So it's a happy birthday. And then another lovely lady in America, Joyce Jones, who's got a wonderful story to tell about how she came to play the organ, and almost sort of, I think she feels sort of God led her into it, basically. She was a piano master at college and she broke her wrist. And so she left playing the piano to spend some time playing the organ. And fabulous organist. She's no youngster. Fabulous organist. Still continues to give concerts, and as you know, I've said before, many of the best organists in the world are women. So, for those people I've mentioned, I'm going to play a happy birthday. So I hope you had a wonderful day, whatever you've done. We've had quite an exciting weekend at chapel. Those of you that have looked on my Facebook page will have seen the gospel table. So many people have asked what's it all about. I've been times when I thought, I wonder what this is all about, but tasked with getting it done and sorted, it makes perfect sense. There is a very large table outside Truro Methodist. If you've not seen it, do come and have a look. Do come and have a picnic, assuming the weather's going to be good. It's a table with the community in mind, and we constructed it off site. My best friend Richard and I, we constructed it off site at his farm, and then we brought it to church on a tractor and trailer and put it in place with a tractor. It's that heavy. It's now bolted to the floor, so anybody who thinks they run in and take it away, I don't think so. So the gospel table, something where anybody can go and share a conversation. We might end up using it as a repair workbench, who knows. Soup and rolls next Sunday, various things. But on with the hymns. Blind Wern, I hope you're ready for this. Love Divine, or Love's Excelling. And you know, as the weeks have gone by, I've tried to keep you updated on those people that have been poorly in one way or another, have undergone surgery. I'm pleased to say that, my apologies for not mentioning Stephen last week, Stephen Martin, doing very, very much better now, and pictures of him out sitting in a rather lovely wooden carved chair. So he's come through. Mike Diamond continues to make progress, as does Jonathan Keane, who's now has a portable oxygen cylinder with him, and Shirley Simmons, the lady who broke her wrist at Christmas. I don't know, I can't think I mentioned, but she is yes, back very much to normality, whatever normality is these days, I'm sure. But I'm going to ask you to remember in your prayers a lady called Sarah Pardo, and I've not met Sarah herself, but if you would think of her in your prayers. My cousin Rosie Crooker posted on our church website this morning, and I taught Rosie to play the piano, and that's an interesting story in its own, but I'm very proud of what she's achieved and what she does. Those of you that watch 922 will have seen her playing and singing along with her dad in leading worship, so you may know Rosie. So Rosie has written this: my partner Lily and I are asking for prayer for her mum. This is Lily's mum, Sarah. Some of you already know she's been battling late stage ovarian cancer for a few years now. On Thursday we found out the chemotherapy hasn't been working, and that it has spread to her stomach and pancreas. If anyone could pray for miraculous healing, strength for Sarah and her family, and wisdom for the doctors who are going to present her with some further treatment options in the coming weeks, that would be amazing. So those are Rosie's words. Her partner Lily, her mum Sarah Pardo, battling late stage ovarian cancer, needs all our prayers, and I'm sure that the prayers haven't gone unanswered over the people I've talked to you about over the last few weeks. So I didn't get the opportunity to get a favourite hymn, but I will for Sarah if she has one, and play it. So that's Sarah Pardo, who lives in the Salisbury area. I think I've probably got that all wrong, but we'll correct it. In Wiltshire, shall we say? Pretty sure that's right. Lily attends university in Bath, as does Rosie. So there we are. So your prayers. Heavenly Father, may your blessing rest upon your children now. I had this is a request from Callum again, Tune Saltash, words by William Charter Pigott. I said earlier on that the things about love and all the rest of it, and I did think I would play Edwin Lemaire's Andantino in D flat, the Moonlight and Roses piece, but I actually haven't played it for a day or two, and I'm not going to do that this evening. So this will be the last thing I play this evening. if I can get my fingers around the Andantino tomorrow, I'll put it up on Valentine's Day. Those of you that know anything about music, it's all on the black notes, and it requires a bit of this business. And actually, as I've not played it for a day or two, and I've got to make sure I can do it. I'm not going to try and do it and make a fool of myself. Anyway, last hymn. Heavenly Father, may your blessing rest upon your children now. No more appropriate, I think, thinking of Sarah and the situation she's in, Rosie, Lilia, and the rest of the family, because it just isn't one person, is it? It's everybody that's affected. So, Heavenly Father, may your blessing rest upon your children